Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Warrior Class Windblade from the Transformers Cyberverse line. She is one of the figures in the second wave of Warrior Class figures. I just found this at my local Walmart yesterday. You can see it says Warrior Class there on the side. Windblade function, resourceful city speaker. So they're sticking with that city speaker thing. I think the first time, that's probably something from the comics, but the first time I had seen it is the Titans Return web series. So she had a way to communicate with Metroplex, which was kind of cool. Here on the bottom, you can see the other figures in the second wave. Looks like there's a new Optimus Prime, because that mold looks a little different than the one that's already been released. But there's also Acid Storm and Megatron, so I think Acid Storm is most likely just a repaint of Starscream, but the Megatron in this size class is brand new. Looks pretty decent. So let's go ahead, let's get Windblade out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here she is out of the packaging. I think she looks pretty good. Obviously, the color scheme has a lot of maroon to it. But there's a decent amount of black and light blue to break it up. Light blue down here on the knee pads looks pretty good. The chest. I like the Autobot symbol a lot. And we'll take a look at the face sculpt here. It looks good. Nicely painted. My head's a little loose, though, as you can see. I don't think it's going to fall off. I don't think it's in any jeopardy of breaking off. It's just loose in there. And you can see, unfortunately, that the paint on the chin is kind of getting messed up, and that has to do with the transformation. We'll get to a little bit later, but that's just a shame. But you can see she leans back a little bit because of the wings, and the cockpit back here are a little heavy, but she does have some decent heels, so as long as you just kind of distribute the weight a little bit, she can stand with relatively no issue. How the gimmick works, it's very simple. This whole section gets pushed down, and how this works is you can see that actually, that whole piece gets pushed down, and you can actually click the wings so they'll stay. I think that looks kind of cool. It actually kind of reminds me of the Batman symbol a little bit. Just with like this and this all coming down here. But you can see there's a lot of light blue detailing underneath as well. So how it works is you just kind of push this back up to push them back down. As you do it, you can see the turbines spin on their way up. And it's a decent little gimmick. I mean, a lot of the gimmicks in this line are a little goofy, but they also really hinder articulation. This one really doesn't. So, of course, it does lock the wings in place so you can't bend them or fold them in any way. But other than that, none of her articulation is hindered by the gimmick. I did say the head doesn't move, but she's got a ball joint here in the shoulder. She's got a bicep swivel. She's got 90 degrees in the elbow. Nothing in the hands. But then she has a ball joint in the hip. She can actually spin waist movement, mostly for the transformation, but also can be used in robot mode. No thigh swivel, but she does have kind of this weird knee joint, which again is mostly for the transformation, but it works. So these kind of like, I don't know, they kind of clip in, but they kind of don't. In any case. So yeah, it's nice. She has a little bit of movement here in the ankle too, but again, it's mostly for transformation. So for one of these Warrior Class figures, I feel like she's got some of the best articulation I've seen so far, and it doesn't really hinder the transformation at all, which I like. So the gimmick in this one actually kind of works. It might not be the best gimmick ever, but at least it doesn't get in the way, and I think it's kind of fun. And really not too much plain kibble. Just the fuselage here on the back, not too bad, not a big deal. Let's go ahead and let's get into that transformation. So the transformation starts out as you would expect. You open this up, and then you flip this around. And I will say that the gimmick cannot be used in vehicle mode, unfortunately. So you bring this all the way in, and if you go to close this right away, you'll notice it can't close all the way because the head's kind of there, but you kind of push it closed. And how it actually works, at least from what I can tell, this clip here clips onto like the bottom of her chin. And that's kind of what I think is making it a little rickety. And also what's kind of smudging the chin paint. Which is kind of a bummer. But I'm hoping over time maybe that won't be so bad. I don't know. It's a little weird. But you can see nice blue paint here on the cockpit window. So for the rest of the transformation, very simple. You're going to spin her around at the waist 180 degrees. You're going to come down here. And you're going to fold up. These black pieces are all one solid piece. So as you hide the feet and pop out the rear thruster, you'll also flip the little tail fins up, which is kind of cool. I like that. Then you're just going to pop these up. Now you can see that there is a tab right here, kind of an indent on the knee pad. That's going to tab into this tab right here. Very easy to do. You just kind of pop it on top. Do that with both of them. And then obviously you can push the two legs together and they will peg together as well. Shore up that whole back section. And then you just come down to the arms and this tab will pop into this slot here on the thigh. And then the hand, there's kind of a little groove for it. So you just kind of push that all in and you can see how it just kind of fits together like that. Do that for both and that's it. That is your vehicle mode. And I have to say it's not bad. I like it a heck of a lot more than Starscream's, which I think is quite a mess. And honestly has a kind of similar gimmick. I mean, the wings are on the back and his wings kind of flip up instead of the turbine spinning. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they couldn't apply the same transformation principles to him. His looks so weird. But yeah, I think she looks pretty good. Again, nice blue. Two different colors blue here. You got some black. Kind of reminds me of Thrust, too. I don't know why. I think just the big turbines and the color scheme reminds me of Thrust a little bit. But yeah, underneath, not too bad as far as hiding the robot mode underneath. And like I said, it's a bummer you can't spin the turbines in this mode, but you can see where that gap of space is. So you can't push this piece down while keeping the fuselage in place. But overall, yeah, I like the vehicle mode quite a bit. I think it looks good, sleek. You don't see a giant gimmick like sticking out the side or anything like that, so I always appreciate that. And it looks like a normal jet, so very cool. So I think Windblade is a pretty solid little warrior class figure. Yeah, I like the color scheme. I like the articulation. I think the transformation's fairly simple, but I think it works. I think kids are going to have a lot of fun with it. And the gimmick is actually one of the better ones in the line so far, in my opinion, as far as the warrior class goes. Because it doesn't really get in the way in robot mode. It doesn't really affect the robot mode as far as having like a giant weird arm or anything like that. And it doesn't like constantly pop out on its own when it's not meant to. You can actually lock the wings in either configuration fairly easily and they'll stay, which is nice. So yeah, the only thing I think is a little weird is that when you transform into the plane mode, how that piece kind of clips onto the chin, and I'm just kind of hoping that doesn't A, break the head, or B, chip the paint on her chin over time. So we're just going to have to wait and see how that works out. But overall, pretty decent little figure. I think it's kind of fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.